In the history of clicking techniques, nothing has quite captivated the Hypixel community on a mainstream basis than butterfly clicking. More specifically, hitting that 20 CPS mark that differentiates some of the best players in the community and offers serious bragging rights. 8 months ago, I could not even butterfly click for 3 consecutive seconds. Now I can reach that 20 CPS mark pretty consistently. Now, how much of a difference have I noticed? Well, I barely noticed the reduced knockback that naturally comes from higher CPS. However, aim-wise, I've switched from a shaky jitter aim to a stable and smooth tracking aim. We place so much of an emphasis on butterflying as a community. I first thought it was a stupid thing way back when, but I do it consistently now, and I can say without a doubt that it is a superior technique. Increased CPS should empirically mean less knockback, which, without a doubt, theoretically makes butterflying a god tier technique, obviously. On top of that, you can focus more on tracking the other player rather than generating clicks. With the weight of your palm on your mouse, you have more pressure to apply on your mouse, and so your flicks will be more consistent. Now, I did not reach a level of consistency until about a month ago, when I stopped having what I would call bad days, or days when my fingers just couldn't seem to keep generating clicks. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what everyone else tells you about butterflying. For example, I'm not going to tell you what mice double click. I'm assuming you know that already and want to go further. So I'm instead going to give you extremely useful and exclusive tips that I did not realize until later on in the learning process. What I'm giving you right now is the knowledge you need to really improve, not just get started. You can watch other tutorials on the basics of butterflying, but here I go. Number 1. There's a tempo to this method, meaning you want to consistently do it at a normal pace. When I first started out, I started slowly and then picking up the speed. I reached a point where I moved my fingers back and forth extremely fast. I did this because I thought this would give me higher CPS. This is wrong. Do not equate CPS with speed. Instead, equate your CPS to vibrations. If you equate CPS to speed, you get higher CPS bursts, which are good, but then you end up getting tired really quickly mid-fight, which then lets you get comboed by the other player. If you want to get into the science of it, butterfly clicking transfers your movement into contact that causes particle resonance, vibrations that follow simple harmonic motion, and actuate your mouse several times a second to generate double clicks. Let me condense that for your pea-sized brain. Slower bang equals higher number. When you move your fingers back and forth faster, you just tire them out, leading to inconsistent bursts of clicks rather than a consistent high CPS. You want to reach a rhythm, or middle point between low and high speeds, where you can generate the vibration on your mouse button by hitting the upper middle part of your finger down on the button. Tip 2. Angle your mouse inward. Now this depends on your hand shape and natural resting position, but you want to make sure your mouse is slightly angled so that the base of your finger does not get caught up in the mouse arch. I wouldn't focus too much on this, but if you feel uncomfortable when you click like I did when I started, this is a good tip. Tip 3. Hit correctly. Hitting your mouse in the proper location in order to get a double click is extremely important. Contacting your mouse with the proper place on your finger is also as important. Your actual strike needs to work in order to get higher CPS with less effort, meaning you should try hitting different parts of your mouse when you butterfly to check which part is the best. Now for your finger, this depends on the fingers of each person, but my personal rule is to line up where your fingernail starts with the top of the mouse button. Tip number 4. Make sure you spread out your fingers properly. Keeping your fingers extremely close together causes them to rub against each other, and then that close contact makes your muscles feel sort of stuck. This problem causes many to get discouraged and then quickly drop the technique, thinking it's way too hard. Whereas the problem was really they should have spread out their fingers more on the mouse button. Spreading out your fingers makes it easy for you to move them back and forth. Now with all these tips, I've successfully made you a butterfly clicking machine. With enough patience and dedication, you can get there. And you don't need to dedicate time to start. You can just randomly try this method when you're waiting for your game to start, and make sure you feel comfortable with it. In the long run, butterfly clicking is the next step, and it's what I believe to be the next thing that gets you above the average skill level of the player base.